What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some Stepn content today. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday mornings. So come by and say hello. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Stepn today and where I potentially see this going in the future, and really the question that I've been getting asked a bunch, which I don't know how to answer, but I'm going to do my best here. Is it worth it to get into Stepn now, based on everything that we're seeing, based on the AMAs that I've been watching, based on the community and all this stuff? Here's the deal. I don't know. Okay. And anybody who tells you that this project is going to die in a year or it's going to bounce back and be the next big thing in a year, like they don't know either. Like if I was to give you a prediction today, I'd be pulling it out of my butt. And anybody who's telling you with any kind of certainty, they're lying to you because you just don't know. There's a lot of risk, and I think a lot of risk in this space overall. And I think you look at previous projects that just collapsed out of thin air, Luna being the most recent one, but there has been a ton of projects, a ton of examples throughout the history of crypto since Bitcoin launched in 2009, where that could happen. And what we're seeing right now is the tokenomics and the shoe minting, the economy, the game economy has just taken a huge hit. So I want to try to organize this in a way that will make sense for you. So what are we seeing right now? Let's do that and then kind of move into where this could potentially go in the future and how I would, in my, at least what I'm doing, would interact with the game. So the floor price for sneakers has fallen dramatically, not just due to the amount of SOL required, but Solana is now trading at $32. If you remember, Solana hit, I think, a high of over 200 and was trading at 100 for a while. But as you can see here, we are trading at $32 now. Bitcoin, of course, took another dump yesterday, and the floor prices for these have come down significantly. When I first bought in, and this was just a couple of weeks ago, I bought my first Solana, I bought my first and only sneaker for about 9 SOL. It was 9 SOL, and Solana was like in the $40 to $50 range at that time. So you can clearly see that the floor price has been driven down, as well as the price of Solana. Now, when we go look at the tokens, so I'm just going to be focusing on the Solana GST token. There's also one on Binance, but I think that's going to go through the same kind of spiral downwards as that chain or that realm gets its feet under it. So you can see here, GST was trading at a high of $7.86. Again, I don't even look at that as real. We saw a lot of people come into the space since the beginning of the year or the end of last year because there was an opportunity to mint shoes, the NFTs, like crazy. And so when that happened, we got this huge euphoric move, this huge euphoric rush, and everybody came in and was trying to mint shoes. And we had a bunch of people in China who were doing this as well. A lot of shoe minters, shoe farmers, I should say, in China, which has recently gotten shut down. And again, I'm not trying to call out China for any reason. I'm saying that there was a lot of activity happening there. I've heard as much as 30% of the shoe farming was happening in China alone. And with the regulations that came around, the Stepn team decided that they were going to shut down the operations in China to comply with the regulations. And that essentially dumped the market in many ways. So now you have a lot of the shoe farmers who are just trying to get something for their value, for their efforts, and so they are dumping shoes on the market. And as they're dumping shoes on the market, the token prices are falling as well. And as the token prices fall, it's not just due to that. It's also due to the fact that, global macroeconomic factors and Bitcoin, we are in a bear market. So this is going to continue to ride down. Again, when I first got into GST, it was right around here, this area right here, maybe $1.50, $1.40, $1.50. That's where I got in. And you can see from that point on, we've dropped still like 80%. So, if you bought in at the top, I'm sorry, I know this is not going to be easy. But if you have been watching this from the sidelines, I mean, this is what it's been, right? And I continue to say on this channel, no matter which game or project I'm talking about, that I don't believe we have hit max pain yet. I don't think that we've even fully felt the brunt of inflation hitting the world, as well as the supply chain issues and just a bunch of different things. So a lot of risk off assets are going to be hit. And so or risk on assets, I should say, are going to be hit and will continue to be hit, in my opinion, for at least the remainder of the year, maybe into next year, right? Well, what I've been saying in a lot of like the Splinterlands commentary that I do, because that's probably the other main game that I cover here, is that I don't really see any factors pushing Bitcoin to new all-time highs until the next halving, which is roughly 2 years away. So what are you going to do for the next 2 years? Is this project worth it to get into? Should you be jumping into this right now? Well, here's my thoughts on it. Again, none of this is financial advice. So I'm not telling you to jump in because you can make some crazy ROI. I think everybody who is doing that because a lot of the sentiment, a lot like the YouTube videos that I was watching even just a couple of weeks ago were like, make X amount of dollars per day, get an ROI within 30 days. Obviously, as the prices continue to fall, the value of your NFT, the value of the tokens that you can earn from those NFTs for playing the game, which is moving, that goes further and further away. I mean, I don't even know how much I would need to earn in order to make back my initial investment. But that is not why I got into the game. I got into the game because I wanted to see what it was all about. I wanted to have an ROI on my health, so it is getting me to get out and go for runs every single day, which I'm enjoying. And there's a gamification of it, right? You think about Pokemon Go in the past, and it's just like, okay, well, now I actually have a sneaker, an NFT that I can level up over time and that I can earn something. And if I ever wanted to cash out, I could cash out. But I'm putting all this time, and I did have to put money in, right, in order to play. So there is that factor. But if I wanted to, I could cash out, and that would be fantastic. The thing is, now with GST being as low as it is and potentially going lower, what is the use case? Well, right now, the primary use case is to level up your sneaker. And that has always been the case. The problem is most people come into this and they'll say, I spent X amount on a sneaker, so I need to recoup that investment first. So there's been a tremendous amount of sell pressure here because everybody expects this token to go down. And as you can see over the last 14 days, the last 2 weeks, maybe even the last 30 days, it's done nothing but that. It's literally gone down because people are selling out of the token every single day. So if you are going to come into this and for, 3.6 SOL right now, you'd probably be paying $100 for a shoe, which would allow you to go running for, 10 days you could run for more than that, obviously, but you can get 10 minutes, right? You can earn for 10 minutes of whatever run or walk you do during the day. Is it worth it? Well, again, you have to reshift your perspective on what you were trying to get out of this game. And if you do feel as though it's worth it and you want to be part of the ecosystem and try to earn, well, then, jump in for 3.6 Solana and start earning. The thing is, I would suggest at this point in time, really using the GST that you earn every day to level up your sneaker, because that's the primary use of it. And at the end of the day, 1 GST will always equal 1 GST. And all of the in-game uses for GST are in GST terms, not in dollar terms. So in order to level up your shoe from, level 5 to level 6, for example, you would need to spend 6 GST. Which is great. So then you just go, you earn some GST, which again has fallen in value, but instead of selling it, you can go in and just start leveling up your sneaker. So that's what I'm doing right now. I was looking at this and saying, okay, it'd be nice to get, 3 sneakers at some point, because then once you get to 3 sneakers, or once you own 3 sneakers, the amount of energy you have per day and therefore earnable time per run jumps up to 20 minutes rather than 10 minutes. But as I look at this, and I still think that I still believe that the prices on everything are going to fall over time. So if you are getting in right now, again, I'm making a prediction, but I'm telling you, I have no idea what I'm talking about. All right. My prediction and my thought process is the reason I'm not getting a second and third sneaker right now is because I think this price will continue to fall. And I think this price of Solana will continue to fall. So there will be a point in time in which I think I could get second and third sneaker for that extra energy at better prices. In the meantime, what I am doing with the 1 sneaker that I have is just leveling up my shoe. Now, at levels, when you get to level 9 and 19 and 29, in order to get to the next level, in order to get to the next level 10, 20, and then maximum 30, you will need to buy some GMT as well. So GMT has been falling in value as well, and we can just take a quick look at this on the 1 year. Had the same kind of run up. But GMT is kind of like the governance token, right? And there's not a lot of utility that's come out to GMT yet. The only thing that you can use GMT for right now is leveling up your sneaker on those threshold levels, 10, 20, and 30. But there should be some utility coming to GMT in the future. So, is this a good price for GMT? I have no idea. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I am trying to say is that what I'm doing, and the only reason that I would sell GST at this point in time, is to get enough GMT. I would swap it for GMT to make sure that I can get to the next level. So for example, right now I'm at level 9, so I need 30 GMT in order to get to the next level, to get to level 10. But after that, I don't need to focus on GMT for a little bit. So from levels 11 through 19, it's just going to be GST again, and I won't care what the price of GST necessarily is because I can jump all the way up to level 19. And then maybe at that point in time, if GMT is cheaper, which I think it could be, then I can come in and potentially buy GMT for whether I bring in outside capital or whether I start saving within the game. But I'm really not trying to bring in outside capital unless there's a fantastic deal and the prices of sneakers drop to a point where it's just like, okay, the additional value that I'll get for my health, right, of being able to do 20 minutes instead of 10. And yes, I know when I go for walks or runs, I do way more than 10 minutes as it is. But to be able to get an earnable amount on that and therefore increase my earnings sounds kind of cool. And it's an element of the game that I appreciate. So that's the only way that I would get in right now. And, if you want to try this for one sneaker and just see what it's like, be part of the community, be part of the movement, it does, or at least for me, it has made me start making, going for walks every day. Usually my gym sessions to do like lifting would be, once, or not once, but like a couple times a week. But now like cardio for me is fun because I feel like I'm earning something. I throw on some tunes or podcasts or just go and have some kind of silent meditative walk, but I feel like I'm earning something and I'm leveling up in a game. So again, it's not like when I do this and I earn GST, I look at it, I'm just like, ooh, this is, I don't think about like it's going to be an ROI or it's going to buy dinner for me tonight, right? I look at it and I say, well, this is something that I'm earning now and essentially progressing in the game by getting off this chair and actually doing something with my body that is healthy, right? Moving, earning, all that fun stuff. So that's kind of where my head is at for this. I know that there's no clear-cut answer, but if I was giving you a clear-cut answer, I'd be very afraid of that advice, even for myself. So you need to go in, do the research. I'm trying to give you what my experience is. And if you want to get in and if you want to try it, I don't think that there's anything wrong with dabbling in right now. I could be wrong and this could be the bottom, but I have no idea and I can't say that with any conviction. So if you want to try it, here's the price tag, right? 3.6 Sol at Solana being $31. Is that worth it for you? If you were to lose that tomorrow, right, and for it to go to completely to zero, would you be okay with that for the experience of trying the game? That's only a question that you can decide. But for me, like I said, I got in much earlier, so this had nothing to do with the prices. This is just something that I am enjoying and trying to be part of the Web3 movement when it comes to move to earn. So hopefully that was helpful. That's all I really have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Keep stepping.